What up, YouTube? This is your president, the presidential tourist, back with another cemetery, gravestone, historical person video, I guess you could say. Here at Oaklawn Cemetery in Winter Haven, Florida, Ephraim Baynard is buried. Now, who is Ephraim Baynard? Well, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you might saw me do a tour of his museum in a former house of his in Auburndale, Florida. So I'll make sure I put the link below. But he's definitely a well-known historical person in the Polk County area. He was named as one of the greatest Floridians back in, I think, around 2000. They did a decent amount of lists of them, and he was named to that list of them. Look, I'm going to tell you more about him in a second. But anyways, the purpose of this video is to go and check out his final resting place, which is in that mausoleum down there. Now, I believe I can actually go in there. So I've seen pictures of his, what is it, tombstone, placard, or whatever you call it, in there. So hopefully, if not, at least I can show you the mausoleum that he's in. Anyways, you know what that means. Let's get to it. But first, before we get over there, I'm going to tell you a bit more about him, starting now. Yeah. Ephraim M. Baynard, born in South Carolina in 1861, arrived in Auburndale soon after its founding. By 1893, he owned one of the general stores in the community, an acreage planted in citrus and tomatoes. As a highly successful grower, Baynard owned and operated the Chase packing plant until it was destroyed by fire. He sold his general store in 1902 and became intensely involved in real estate development in the 1920s. Baynard built several commercial buildings and at least 2 residences in Auburndale. Mr. Baynard's home, located on Westlake Avenue, was built in 1894 by Alfred Chipman Thorpe as an example of the folk Victorian architectural style, which on my channel I did a tour of that, the Baynard house, and I'll put the link below. Very interesting museum, and you really get a look into his life and how the world was at that time. Another Baynard house was built in 1914 by Thorpe's son Harry, and later became the Kersey Funeral Home, which is where I believe he lived when he passed away. Ephraim M. Baynard received recognition from the state of Florida as a Great Floridian in the year 2000, and the Baynard house is listed in the National Register of Historic Places. Most of this information I almost read directly, I guess verbatim is the word, off of the historical plaque in front of the Baynard house, because I thought it really sums up his life better than I could write a script. But yeah, he was definitely a very well-known local businessman, and definitely contributed greatly to the early Auburndale history. Interestingly, he's buried in a cemetery in Winter Haven. But I definitely recommend checking out the Baynard house if you're ever in the Auburndale area. If you can't see it, I'll put the link below for a full tour. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit of information about him before we actually get to his gravesite, or what I was able to show you of his gravesite. Alright, thanks for watching. You know what that means. Let's get on to the next part. Yeah. Let's just hope there's no homeless people in there. Some of the cemeteries I went to, I had some issues with some homeless people, so, and there's a shirt on there, so if there is, I'm not gonna do too much in here. I don't know. Kind of creepy. Playing card stuck in there. Ooh. Maybe we can't get in there. I'm not sure how that person got a picture of his grave. That looks really big in there and spooky as hell. Oh yeah. That's not creepy at all. There must be a way for you can get in there to pay your respects. It's just not open now. I will have to find out. That's huge in there. Jeez. But I see all the different placards there, so I'm not probably going to be able to get in here. That is... yeah, that's not spooky at all, guys. Jeez. Creepy. That reminds me of that Fantasia movies with the tall man. He's chasing that person. I'm gonna walk around. Ooh, that is creepy. I don't know why. I just find that creepy in there. I didn't think it was gonna be that big in there. This is practically a church. I'm not sure how that person got a picture. Maybe this is open part of the day, or maybe you have to request. I don't know. Maybe that person who took the picture is a member of family who has a place in there. I see a little plant on there. Looks like a little, man, it might not be real, so looks like I won't be able to get in there and show you his actual place. It's in there someplace. Let's walk around. Maybe there's another door. Now, when I said it's not creepy at all, I wasn't being serious. That is spooky looking in there. That's creepy. Now, you think that's for like ventilation, or they were more light? I would think for ventilation. It's not a very big building. See, there's another doorway. I'm gonna willing to bet no. Yeah, I got the Tall Man, that Fantasia movie vibes from that completely. What I could do, maybe see if I can contact, I think it would be Parks and Recs maybe, that takes care of these things, and see if there's a way to get in there. Maybe they have a key, I don't know. No, there's not another doorway. And you can't see through the stained glass. This is outer layer, plastic layers, basically to protect this from people like throwing things. You know, people come over here and throw stuff and break that. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to get in there. At least I can show you where it is, which is in this building right here. Seems like a fortress. The Fortress of Solitude. Actually, you'll probably see this. Actually, you're going to see this video along with my main cemetery video too. Try one more time to make sure it's just not tough to open. But you see there's a key right there. Okay, that's definitely locked. I'm not going to try anymore. It looks bigger inside than what it is from the outside. I could take a scan of his that someone took and show you. I'm gonna find out if people's able to get in there, like me. There's I could see a whole bunch of little crypts. Geez, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. I see at least 40 or 50 of them in the back wall, and then there's some immediately to the left and to the right. So there's a lot of people buried in there. Well, not buried, entombed. I don't want to touch that train car. Let's hope it's not cursed or something. Okay, well, can't get in there. Disappointed, but that's okay. What I was trying to do, I'll try to contact maybe the Parks and Recs. Maybe someone with the C can get me in there. I don't know. But let's show you a little bit around here. Like I said, I know there is graves that, well, let me finish this part first, because this one is going to go in a separate one. Probably the rest of the cemetery would be in a separate video. But yeah, you got to learn a little bit about him with the section you would have seen it before this. Interestingly, how he died, Ephraim Baynard, he actually got hit by a train. I guess, I don't know if he was riding a car or a wagon, but he thought he could beat the train and get to the other side before the train got there. Well, he didn't make it, and it hit him head on. Not too far from where the Baynard house is, and where his current home at the time was, which I think is now a funeral home called, I think, Kersey's Funeral Home. So that's how he died. I actually heard he wasn't a particularly nice man either. But anyways, this is his final resting place. His wife is in there, and I believe both of his children is in there too. Other members of his family is buried at where he's originally from, which I believe is in South Carolina. But yeah, he's in there along with his wife and I think 2 daughters in there. And I will see in the future if there's a way for me to get in there. Maybe someone from the city could let me in. And I'm sure there's a way to go in there, because I'm sure there's still some family members or people that's entombed in there that want to pay their respects, so there must be a way. But I'll try to find out, and that'll be in a future separate video. But that's where he is, in that building right there.